Got my cutter, got my torch. Pour a beverage and I step out on the porch. Grab a cigar, I love that view. I guess it's time for another Poolside Cigar Review.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to another weeknight edition of Poolside Cigar Reviews with Kirk. Tonight I'm smoking a cigar that I've never actually had before. This is the Padilla Grand Reserve. If you're not familiar, Padilla is, I think it's owned by Oliva. And I know this was rolled at their factory. And I'll tell you what, you can tell, because this is remarkably similar to the look of the Melanio. I have a couple Melanio Robustos in my humidor. And, I guess, no, they're the Petit Coronas, they're the number 4s. But just the press and the roll, they look identical. You can tell they're from the same factory. This, however, has a Pennsylvania broadleaf wrapper, where the Melanio has, I believe it's from Ecuador? Not positive. But I've actually never had this cigar, like I said. And I'm pairing it tonight with a new favorite Scotch. I just picked this up a couple weeks ago, and I'm loving it. It's the Ardbeg Uigeadail. Fantastic stuff. This is serious Scotch. So if you like Islay Scotch, if you like the smoky peaty, this is right up your alley. 55% alcohol, so it does need water. But it's so much more than just peat. You get a serious depth of flavor. Some minerality. Some grain. Like grass and honey. It's really complex stuff. It'll take you about as far as you want to go if you want to dive in and start picking flavors. It's really complex. So let's see how this cigar goes. Like I said, I've never had it. I'm a huge fan of Oliva. I just haven't been smoking Padilla stuff. Perfect draw. And, that kind of cutting the cigar, you can see, I just take the cap off. Hopefully you can see that just a little bit. Not a ton, but enough. You can see the piece that came off here. Hopefully nobody who would get offended is watching. If you are, please don't be offended. But my wife and I hosted a cookie exchange this weekend. It was really just a Christmas party, but you exchange cookies with people, and it was a ton of fun. We had, I don't know, maybe 10, 11 people bring cookies, mostly women. Women my wife works with, and then some of the husbands who actually I knew everybody. A lot of kids. Oh, that was good. Great first light. Wow. Leathery. Earth. Very nice tobacco core. I'd say about medium in body. Loving it. It's not, off the first sight, it's not as peppery as the Melanio, but it's close. It's got some of that cinnamon. It's like Melanio, but toned down on the pepper a little bit. A little bit of just a hair of tobacco sweetness on the finish. Nice long, clean finish. Buttery. Loving it. This is nice. It's the Robusto. Slight box press. I bought this at a B&M in town. They quit selling Oliva, so all their Oliva stuff was in the 40% off cabinet, including this. I want to say this was regularly like an $11 or $12 cigar. So at 40% off, that's $70. And it's certainly worth that. Very nice. Yeah, no pepper on this. Maybe a little bit when it lingers, a little bit of black pepper flavor, but not a lot of tingle or heat. So far, it goes nicely with the Scotch. I wouldn't say at this point they're overly complimentary, but I've said it before. If you've got a good drink and a good cigar, you're going to be satisfied. Okay, so they're not overly complimentary, but they don't clash in any way. And, you know, I really think that smoking a cigar and drinking Scotch can benefit because I think it just hits reset on the palate for both between the two. And, you know, sure, you can color the flavor, and some people think that you can't review a cigar, you can't possibly pick flavors from a cigar if you're drinking something other than water. But if they can have that opinion, that's fine. But to me, I actually think it helps me pick out some flavors. Like I said, just because it hits reset, you know, you don't have too many because cigars are just, they linger on the palate, and if you don't wash that off, I think the cigar can interfere with itself. Anyway, I'm sure you wanted to hear about the cigar and the Scotch, but I was telling a story about cutting cigars. So we hosted a cookie exchange, right? So it was a lot of fun. You know, we had kids, wives, husbands, and a little later in the evening, you know, we're sitting inside, and you know, I had opened my Scotch cabinet, and I was trying not to be too much of a professor, but I was, you know, helping people sample Scotch, and you know, I think there was 4 husbands. Only one was a real Scotch drinker. The other ones drank a little bit of whiskey, but didn't really have any knowledge on it or practical experience. So let's kind of teach them how to drink Scotch, what the regions are, where they come from, what they taste like, but keep it not too heady. But anyways, we're drinking Scotch, and then you know, I've got my humidor out on a buffet kind of near my living room, my glass top humidor, and one of the guys probably was wanting a cigar because everywhere I go, I'm Kirk the cigar guy. I carry a Cigar travel humidor with 10 cigars in it. Anytime I leave the house, I'm going to a party, anywhere that I think there might be a chance that I can smoke a cigar, I bring a cigar for me, and for as many other people as I assume would be there. And I would say 75% of the time I don't get to smoke a cigar. I just carry around my travel humidor. So that's me. I'm Kirk the cigar guy. And the question is always, Kirk, did you bring your cigar box? And the answer is almost always yes, but we never get to smoke. But anyway, so one of the guys said, hey, how much did you pay for your humidor? Started bringing it up, and I think he was fishing for a cigar, which is awesome because I was dying to get guys outside to smoke cigars. I just didn't want to push them because it was kind of cold outside. We're weenies in Arizona, and we don't like to stand out in the cold. But so I told him about my humidor, and I said, do you want a cigar? You know, because he said he'd been smoking more lately. He said he was smoking CAO Golds. And I said, that's awesome, man. It's a great cigar. So, and I love to hear that because it helps me figure out what people like. So I asked everybody, hey, you guys want to go outside and smoke a cigar? And of course, everyone said sure. So we come out to smoke cigars, and you know, I had this cutter, the Cigar, was it the XI1? Great cutter, but it's a little intimidating for people, I think. And so I try to be nice and just when I gave people their cigars, I just hand them I said, you know, are you comfortable cutting your own cigar? And I try to not be condescending, but just ask, you know, are you comfortable cutting your own cigar? Everybody said yes. And then I noticed that I think only 4 of us were smoking. My cigar was burning great, it was fine. Another guy's was burning fine, but one of the guys, about halfway through, his wrapper just completely exploded, came off. I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. I haven't had a wrapper explode in a while. And then the other guy had to keep relighting, and I'm thinking, that's kind of weird that we've got 2 significant burn issues on cigars in the same night. Because I take really good care of my cigars, and I never have issues. I guess you can't say never, but very rarely do I have issues. I would say maybe 1 in 20 cigars has an issue. Probably more like 1 in 40. Certainly not 2 out of 4. So the next morning I come out, We put our cigars in the ashtray and went inside when we were done. And I noticed, I just looked to see how they were cut. And of course, the guy whose wrapper exploded had cut about this much off the end of his cigar. He completely cut the whole cap off, which is common for people who don't smoke. And then the other guy who was having the burn issues had barely cut into the cap at all. I mean, I don't cut a lot off, as you can see. Hopefully you can see that. But you gotta cut enough so you can draw. I mean, this guy had like a tiny, like almost like a gash in the head of his cigar. I'm like, no wonder he had burn issues. He probably couldn't draw any air through it. But the reason I tell that story, because it made me think. And it's not so much about cigars, because more than likely, if you're watching this video, you probably know how to cut a cigar. If you don't, there's a billion videos on how to do it. I may make one someday, but I'm not going to do it tonight. But you probably are. If you're this far into this video, I'm sure you know how to cut a cigar, or you can at least figure it out on your own. But it made me think in general about pride, and that a lot of times we're afraid to ask for help when we don't know how to do something, and that can be really detrimental. And for me, I always try to think of that, because I think I have that pride a little bit, and I thought it was very interesting, and it just reminded me that a lot of times it's for the best to just swallow that pride and accept help, and it works out better for everybody. Because I'll tell you what, had those two guys swallowed their pride and allowed me to cut their cigar for them, or just tell them how to cut a cigar, they would have had a much better experience. The cigars wouldn't have exploded or performed poorly. It just would have been better overall. It would have been no headache for anybody, and everyone would have had a better night. But I just thought that was very interesting, and it made me think. Don't mean to be too preachy. This is a very nice cigar. It's actually mellowed out a little bit. I don't know if it's just because I'm not puffing it enough. Hopefully it's not going out. Decent amount of smoke. That's delicious. I think this is the only cigar, the only Padilla vintage reserve that I have in my humidor. I need to go back to the shop and see if they have more, because this is delicious, and I think it deserves a full review. But yeah, I just wanted to check in with everybody and say hello, share my thoughts about swallowing pride whilst swallowing some scotch. That's awesome. I don't know if you can see it, but we got a little Scotch mist going on. Ardbeg is not chill filtered, so it gives you that more, those proteins are still in there, so they cloud up with water. It's a little bit more viscous, a little more flavorful, but a very clean Scotch. I mean, this is so much, it's peaty for sure, but it's so much more than just like a peat monster. I wouldn't even call this a peat monster. If you want a more a peatier experience, Ardbeg 10 is the way to go, which I love Ardbeg 10 also. But this Uigeadail, it's killer. Really good stuff. So if you're looking to buy yourself, and it's not cheap, but if you're looking to buy yourself a nice Christmas present, I got this at Total Wine for, I think, $80, and I know Bevmo had it for $90. Like I said, I found it for $80, so if you're looking to buy yourself a nice bottle of scotch for Christmas, and you're a fan of Islay whiskey, that's worth a go. So I hope everybody's having a great week. I know it's been a while since I've checked in with you. Same excuses as last time. Life gets in the way. Actually, I had a stomach bug. I lost a few pounds, actually. Had a stomach bug that put me out of commission for a while. Then I had a little head cold. So if I'm going to get sick, this is the time of year that I do it. But I'm 100% now, and life is good. No complaints. I got some Christmas lights up, as you can see, and the front of the house looks even better. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you're enjoying your December. I hope you're looking forward to the holidays and not dreading them. I hope you're able to see friends and family as much as possible and rejoice and give thanks for all the blessings that you have in your life. I'll leave you with that. I really appreciate you stopping by. Click the like button, the subscribe button. I love your comments. Please leave comments, questions, concerns. Tell me I'm an idiot. Whatever you want to do, just be respectful of others' opinions and let us know what you think. So take care, guys. And even though it's December, I'll still leave you with the best advice I can think of. Keep your feet in the pool, a drink in your hand, and a cigar in your mouth. Have a good one. And Merry Christmas.